Boston, because you only play them once at home and once there type of thing. You don't expect a game like what happened last night. But with the Vegas Golden Knights, not that I'm advocating the Wild Wild West and Hudson Bay rules and that sort of thing, but would it be more understandable if you have a game like that against Vegas, considering the rivalry between the two teams?
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't happen a whole heck of a lot in hockey anymore. It's a different game now, and that's why that's why you guys are still talking about it. We're not. It's just one of those rare things that happen. Us winning 8-1 over the Boston Bruins, that doesn't happen very often. And then it was just one of those crazy evenings that happen. If you're in your division, you're in the West, you play teams a little more often, there is a little bit of a rivalry. There's people you dislike a lot more. And it just kind of brings out kind of that sort of that passion or that feistiness that comes with being in your division or being in your conference.
And that's exactly what I'm going with that, is that, would it be safe to say there should be a strong dislike between you and Vegas because of, they've had your number over the last few years. You've been close in many of those games. When you look back and analyze it and prepare for tomorrow night, what kind of things can you do to change that narrative?
Well, I'd like to think I've been pretty consistent on you move away from what we did yesterday and move on to the next opponent. We felt the game that we played in Vegas was a really good one, and we were 3-3 with 5 minutes to go, gave up a rush chance goal against. That's something that we've done 1,000 times correctly, and we made a mistake on it, and we end up in the back of our net. But it just when we approach this team that's our next opponent, there's things that we have to do that whether it's our game plan or if it's individual things, if it's specialty teams, that we have to do to beat Vegas. And all the other part, that is all sort of a byproduct what happens when you play hard and you do all the right things. And there's no secret. We frustrated Boston last night because we played our game, and to me, that's why I don't want to get caught up in what happened in that whatever that was, that quick 5 minutes of sort of craziness. It's how well we played last night as a team, and we went out and played our game. And if we're going to have success against Vegas, we have got to do that. And that was last night was the whole roster playing the right way.
What's the latest on Gustafsson?
He's in concussion protocols. So.
Since you've been here, do you know what your record is against Vegas?
I know we've lost our last 4 games.
Yeah. It's actually the last 7 regular season.
We won a game in the playoff game, but it's been our last 4, and that's how I look at it. I don't know, but that's yesterday's news. Like I said, we played this year. They're a different team. We're a different team. You know what? They're Stanley Cup champions a couple years ago. They got some guys that know how to win. It's no different than we run into Colorado. They give us the same kind of headaches. Dallas hasn't won yet, but they give us the same kind of headaches. With that series we had against Florida. These teams that have won, there's a maturity, there's a confidence that they play with, and you have to be at your best when you play them. You really do, and we saw that. We learned that lesson against Florida down there. We weren't at our best. We came home and we played at our best, and it was a big difference. So. I'm not looking at any history against these guys. Like I said, I thought we had a good structured game going in Vegas. We felt that that was a game we should have won. And then that's doing that for 60 minutes and not making that mistake that gives them that one chance, because they do have game breakers. They're the best team in the Western, out in the Pacific Conference right now, and we look at everybody that comes into this building that you're not getting any easy points handed to you. You got to go get it. You got to go earn them.
Carry something over from last night?
Sure, there was a lot of great things that happened. There really was. There's, like I mentioned, our attack mode, the way we went after to the net. We had talked about that previously, about not doing that enough. I think we had 60 shot attempts last night, which for us is probably 20 higher than what we've been averaging. Just the fact that we did that, and what it does, it forces the opposition now to have to defend. Now maybe they're running the corners, or they got to figure out, what their assignments are, whatever. We get people on the run, and when we do that, that's more like us, and that's what we saw earlier in the year. And I'm glad we got back to that. That has to be sort of, in our DNA every game.
And just a quick revisit of last night. Do you follow up after a game like that with either Sacco or any other guys about what you didn't like, or do you leave them?
Nope, it's done. It's over and done with.
Why is Gabriel Vilardi fit so well with that line with Mark?
Well, he gets to the net, right? He gets himself into the corners. He wins battles. Somebody has to stay close to him when he's around the front of the net. It gives Scheifele and KC some room to move. You know, a good example, you know, on that goal of Scheifele's first one there. You know, Gabe has the puck, and, you know, he draws 4 guys to him, and then all of a sudden there's Scheifele and KC all alone, you know, make a great play. So he just does a good job of, you know, helping out on faceoffs. He does a great job of getting into the corners and, you know, just puck possession, just using his size and his hands.
I know you've been trying to do it for a while, and then yesterday in the pregame you had some speed drills to try and create that more direct offense. What do you think it was that finally kind of clicked and got the team playing that direct style back to what you were doing?
Yeah, I think I said yesterday that it's not making that one extra pass. It really is. It's if it takes us 3 to get in there, or 4 to get there, or whatever, it's that, you know, don't make it 5, or if it's 2 to get there, don't make it 3. And then we have a chance to, you know, I'm not talking about just shoot the puck in the goalie's glove and end the play. I'm talking about you get a chance on that interior ice, shoot that puck. We had a tendency to kind of set it back out and try to start again and get inside. It's hard to get inside against teams in this league, and when you're in there, if you can take advantage of it with shots, that might be a 2-on-1, that might be 3-on-2, that might be off ozone play. You get a chance to get inside ice, good ice, you got to take those chances when they're there, and I thought we did a better job last night.
Just a subtlety of the play, but that 3-on-2 where Kyle gives it to Vilardi, and then he just skates right at the defenseman and just pushes him on to clear up that space. Like those kind of details from those kind of players, what do they mean?
Yeah, that's something that we work at too in practice. You know, we call that a, you know, kind of cross and block, and, you know, teams do that. Vegas does it a lot. Colorado does it a lot. There's some teams that are really good at it, and it just really it takes the sort of the gap away from your defenseman if the other opposition is coming at you. Last night, KC just really, it was a pick, and now all of a sudden Gabe has all kinds of time to get himself locked and loaded, and, you know, made a great shot.
Scott, if I can just ask one non-hockey related question over the last week and a half or so.
I did my own driveway.
Yeah, all right. Good to know. But, you know, hockey fights cancer. You know, it kind of brings us back to, you know, some of the things that we can sometimes take for granted. I know the guys were talking about the conversations they had with the men and women of our armed forces, and then a day like today for, you know, the hospital.
Yeah.
It's how beneficial is that to give, but also to, you know, get away from the grind of winning and losing and all the questions we're asking, you know, on a daily basis.
Yeah, the other day, the military day, for those guys who go out on the ice after, I'm not sure if everybody knew that, but they went out for a big photo with those guys. Just hearing those guys talk about, you know, some of the deployments that some of these guys have been on, being away from their family. We're complaining about 11-day road trip, and listen to these guys talk about being away for years. You know, extended period times from families. You know, just the camaraderie that they have, the teamwork that they have to go through to, you know, to certainly keep us safe, keep themselves safe. You know, the hospital visit parts for us to make kids' day a little bit better. You know, for them to see some of their, you know, their heroes. I'll tell you, it really does. It shakes your knees a little bit sometimes when you go in and see and hear what some of these kids go through. And if we can make that day a little bit brighter and a little bit big smile on their face, you know, I know they're excited. They know the guys are coming, and the guys look forward to it, and they get to be a little bit like Santa Claus and enjoy themselves and put some smiles on some faces. Thanks.